Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. We're excited to see you all. Yeah, we'll just get going with this presentation here. So just briefly about TreeShape. I think most of you know us. But what is TreeShape doing? We are doing scanners, intraoral scanners and lab scanners, and we do CAD software, lab software, studio software, engagement apps, and so on for labs and clinics around the world. So moving forward, it's been quite a journey with TreeShape. You might know me. I'm Rune Fisker. I'm SVP of Product Strategy, and I started as the first employee at TreeShape in 2000, where we were still only 4 people at that time. And we ended last year on a little bit more than 1,900. And actually this week, we passed 2,000 employees. So that has been quite a journey. We are still deeply committed to development, and we have more than 400, I think it's even more than 450 developers, and we are going to increase at least another 100 this year. So on top of that, we have more than 600 patents, and we are in 27 different locations. We have our headquarters here in Copenhagen, where Christian and I are standing, but we also have a big factory in Poland and a big setup in Ukraine. And of course, a lot of thoughts and prayers go to our team in Ukraine. Luckily, they defeated Russia around Kiev. But of course, this is completely unacceptable level of aggression of attacking a peaceful country. Moving on from that, we will go straight over to highlights for TreeShape Lab. And I think, Christian, you're going to take that.
Sure. Thank you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Christian Rytter. I am the Senior Product Director for Lab. So I have the pleasure of taking you through some of the highlights for TreeShape Lab in 2022. So Generation Red is a scanner series that we launched by now a while ago, but which has been extremely well received by the market. So we just have a few updates to share on that. TreeShape Unite we launched a few months ago, and it's really been a game changer. You know, starting the platform game and super exciting stuff going on there. And there's also a lot of exciting things for labs in Unite. So we'll talk a bit more about that. And then finally, we will share some updates about Dental System 2022, which is the upcoming release that will release late this summer. So some exciting features coming in there as well. Like I said, Generation Red is a scanner series that we launched I think it's about 2 years ago by now, almost 2 years ago by now. And it's been really well received by the market. And I think that's also due to the fact that we have a scanner that pretty much covers every needs that our customers might have. So it's ranging from the E1, which is the scanner that we recommend for getting started with Crown and Bridge. There's the E2 that gives you increased productivity and texture scanning. Then there's high performance, so we have the E3 that gives you high performance and implant bar accuracy. And then finally the E4 if you need the ultra high speed or the ultra high accuracy. So truly a scanner that covers every need. One of the updates that we've done is that we've added an enhanced detail option to the scanning software, so you can turn up the quality, the scanning quality if needed. But this is great for seeing those margin lines that can be difficult to otherwise see. So great feature that comes in and which is available for the E4. Also looking a little bit at the trends in the market, I think definitely there's some things that are changing. We of course see a huge uptake in intraoral scanners, definitely also in the TRIA side, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So we do see some labs like Semic here from Cosmodent that is moving in a direction where they only accept the intraoral scan. So of course that's changing, and of course they still use our design software and our workflows and so on to support that. We also see BJ here from Rowe who's moved to impression scanning, so done away with the gypsum models and go straight into scanning impressions, obviously saving a lot of time and materials and so on in the workflow. So this is some of the trends we're seeing in the lab space. There's also a lot of, we made a number of scanners over the years, and which has been really successful. And we have quite a few of these actually running out there still. But there is also an opportunity to trade up to a newer scanner. And there's a pretty convincing case for that actually, because here we compare the D700 versus the E4, where you can see that you get up to 60 minutes of time saving per day if you do 20 cases per day. So pretty significant saving there. You get obviously much better accuracy. You get the ability to scan the die in the model in the scanner. You can scan the articulator in the scanner, which you weren't able to do before. And you can capture all the details with color scanning. So there's really a lot of benefits from upgrading to a newer scanner. And we do have different trade-up offers available. So contact your reseller if you're interested to learn more about that. All right, over to you, Rune.
Yeah, thank you so much. So if we look at one of the really mega trends in digital dentistry, it is of course intraoral scanners. And intraoral scanners are booming. The market last year literally exploded, and 3Shape also had a tremendous good year. So for 3 years cases, we grew more than 60% year over year. And also, if we look here on the left side of the presentation here, we have some data from LMT in the US, where you can see that the number of doctors sending digital impressions 5 years ago were not much more than 6%. And now today it's 30% of all doctors in the US that are sending digital impressions, which by the way, fits perfectly with also the digital penetration in the US. So it's really booming, and COVID have accelerated that dramatically last year. So there's no doubt as a lab, you need to be ready for that. In the US, you cannot survive, but also the rest of the world. It's unfortunately not only us that are selling a lot of scanners these days, and also growing rapidly this year. It's also a number of our competitors out there. So this is truly booming. Then, if we look into the clinic side again, what we see here, if we generally look at the platforms, is that we know all these famous companies that is on your phone, Netflix on your TV. Netflix disrupted how we see movies. Uber, how we rent taxis. Airbnb, how we rent rooms, hotels, and of course Amazon, how do we shop. So a platform have disrupted industries, and let's take a closer look at that. But before we do that, in the dental area, let's look at the digitalization. So digitalization is, as we saw, hammering on the doors of the clinics and also getting insights. Again, we see intraoral scanners, we see 3D printing, we see AI not just being a dream, but it's here, and we see very fast adaptation on digital dentures and aligners. And generally, when we look from a clinic point of view, what do we see? We see a massive wave of almost a tsunami of different digital tools coming in, hitting the clinic. But the real problem with that is they're all great tools, but they are disconnected, right? So how are we connecting all these digital workflows together? They are basically not connected. And this is what 3Shape Unite is doing. We are connecting the digital dots, the digital islands. So we are connecting practice management systems with 3Shape Unite, and 3Shape Unite being the engine of Trias. And I can just tell you, we started the PMS integration work in the fall, and we just crossed more than 10 systems being now integrated with a very strong pipeline and more. Unite was created also founded with some of the leading companies in the world. Straumann, the strongest implant company, Henry Schein, the strongest distribution company in the world, and of course, Ivoclar, the strongest material company in the world, all being founding partners of 3Shape Unite. We are connecting to thousands of labs, and of course, this is where it becomes particularly relevant for you as labs. We are connecting to a lot of clear aligner manufacturers. We of course have the 3Shape apps on the system. Many of these apps are also growing at 3-digit percentage last year. and we are working with some of the most innovative companies in the industry to integrate them to create simple workflows that start in the clinic, but also go all the way to the lab. So let's just have a look at Unite here. I'm basically gonna do a small demo. So what you see here is basically Unite here, which is the engine or the platform for triage. And let's just go to a patient here, Rune Fisker, coincidentally myself, and let's make a case. So what you see now is that all workflow has been appified here, and we see a range of different apps here, both what we call send-to apps, but also everything else, which it could be treatment simulation or smile design, or we've also done a Colgate whitening simulation recently, and of course the most important apps of all apps, patient monitoring. But let's just select a lab here. Let's select Cosmodent, Cemex lab over in Malmö, and select that. So what you basically see now after selecting the lab, we are populating the order form here. The next step the dentists have to do before actually start scanning is to populate the order form. And now you should see something which is new here and which I actually think is super important, is that, first of all, we have created the new order form. That's not the real important part. The real important part is that you can now customize the material. So it's just like any restaurant, of course, will customize their menu. You can also now customize your product catalog here. And you can see there are, of course, some generic products here like Emax, but you can, for instance, see Cemex have added different PMAs for long-term and short-term temporaries. He also has his own zirconia here down here, Copra Supreme. So that's really a great opportunity to add in the different materials here, and that's a whole workflow. We'll get back to how you as a lab, and I think it's really important that you do that. Is when you shop on Amazon, you of course also buying exactly on Amazon what you do. Some dentists write comment fields. I mean, you don't write, I want to buy blue socks or black socks in the comment field at Amazon, right? You click on exactly that order, that item you want, the product you want, and then you get it. Another thing we have been working extensively on is actually to make the case communication better. So here you see some different crowns, and you can see this call order has just been sent. You can also see here that when you actually accept it in the triage inbox, then it goes to the triage inbox, it's been received, and then the order has been accepted. And if you remember to close the order, it will also be shipped when you are shipping the order. But that's really what we are trying to create here is a consumer style experience for the dentist, just like when you buy on web shop. And you should remember the world have changed. People are used to buy on Amazon or similar platforms every day, and you're used to a 2-click to be able to order exactly what you want. And we need to provide the same consumer style experience to the dentist as labs. Let me show you a little bit on Unite here. So imagine this is a patient called Camilla, and she had been being scanned a week ago and offered an aligner. And now there's a new opportunity to take that scan, as she calls you, and she said, I want to accept the case. And you can now, with a single click, super easily move that on to ClearCorrect. So what's happening now is actually a bit interesting, because what's happening now is that scan and all the patient information is sent to the cloud. And sorry for that, I need to log in here. So so this is sent to the cloud. Here, the Ivocloud, sorry, not the Ivocloud, the Straumann cloud here. And normally here the connections will be paired, and we are actually now embedding ClearCorrect's cloud software into Unite, creating a coherent and smooth workflow for the user. So not seeing that we have two different applications, but we are really enabling, you can say, an embedded, clear correct cloud-based app to be run within the Unite workflow. And this is basically what you see here. We basically see Camilla, all her information being transferred. We can choose the different treatment settings here. We can also now upload images. It's now possible to take them directly within Unite, and they will then be automatically uploaded. So really having completely integrated workflows here. So super cool with that. Then let's move over to the last short part of the demo here. That is the store. So we are super proud and excited about the store. You can see here you have all the different kind of apps we have here. You can see over here we have 3Shape apps. So you can see we of course have the Trias app. We also have Implant Studio. We have the treatment simulator. You can of course click on each app here and see what it actually does for you here. And there is a whole description, just like from your mobile phone. And there's a range of different apps. One new app we made recently was the Model Maker, where you can actually design models in the cloud without any human interactions. Then maybe most interesting for you is actually labs can also be apps. So what we need to do here is you can see all the different labs. This is from US, but let's try to find the lab here. We could, for instance, find one of my favorite labs here, which is Row Dental. And you can basically see here, if I want to connect to Row Dental, first of all, you can see here a description of them. You can, of course, click install. And you can, of course, also browse down through all the different, to take another, of course, famous app here. This is, of course, a Glidewell. And you can basically see Jim and his lab being promoted. And again, if you want to connect to Glidewell, then you just click install. But this is not just for the big labs. You just saw here. Any lab can basically easily make a profile. Then there's also the dentist can search. And remember, you are now on the dentist side here on the software. The dentist can search for clear aligners. Here, they can search for practice management systems. And here you can see we now have 11 practice management systems from Logos and Open Dental to Dolphin and some smaller ones. We have different apps from our founding partners, from Straumann, from Henry Schein here, and of course also from Ivoclar here, where we have a number of different apps. So really exciting, and of course, as what you want to do as a lab, you really need to create your own app here. Is not hard, and we'll show a little bit more about that. But this was 3Shape Unite, and let's look a little bit more what's in it for you as a lab. So here you can see what can you do. You can promote your lab as number one. You can customize your order form, and you can communicate with clinics. So let's take a small look. You saw the Labs as app here, and basically the way you do that is you log in. It's super easy, and more than 2,000 labs have done that now within the last few months. You just search for Unite for Labs. You get into the page, and basically here it's a little bit like when you do Airbnb. You write a small text, you create your lab profile, and you upload images and click what you are actually offering. So super easy, and I would strongly encourage any lab in the world that want to receive 3 use cases to go and do your profile here. It's a super easy again. Another option is to create the order form, customized order form, which I also think makes it so much easier for you as a dentist, not you as a dentist, but for the dentist to select the right offering. But again, also for you as a lab to have less calls, less phone calls, more clear orders, less confusion, and of course, no restaurant in the world, no web shop in the world will not customize their product catalog or their shop to what they are actually offering. So get started on that. That's also easily found on our community portal. Then a little bit on another thing we have done is actually, to improve the communication. What you saw before here is filling out the order form and so on. The next step is it is communicated via the lab to Dental Manager. I think most of you are familiar with that workflow here. But what's interesting now is there's some new functionality released end of last year, where you can actually write comments directly into the to the dentist that will then show up on the dentist side, both within Unite, as you see here, but also, and more importantly, this is showing that you can also make comments both from Dental Manager, but also from Dental Designer. And you can basically send also screenshots back to the dentist. So here, and again, on the dentist side, then here, you will basically see here the line you also saw before, and also the comments are then showing up directly here on Unite. So super cool, really improving consumer style. Maybe even more exciting, in my opinion, is that we also are significantly improving or introducing the new 3Shape Communicate app shortly, where you can really communicate much easier, much faster with your dentist. So, dentists are always hard to get, but we really all want to have people on the phone and get people started here and get them going. Fast answers in your pocket, access that anywhere, anytime. That will be coming out shortly. So super exciting. And I will encourage every lab, to adapt this consumer style experience. The dentists are used to the Facebooks, the Uber, etc. Experience, and you need to provide them the same experience. And some of the biggest labs in the world are currently building those platforms. But of course, you as a typical lab will not have the resources to build your own platform, but we are really bringing all that to you to give that consumer style experience that the dentist really expect. So those words on communication and 3Shape Unite. Get your Unite app as lab mate. And with those words, over to Christian.
Thank you. So now on to Dental System 2022, which is going to release later this summer. And we're super excited about that. It includes quite a number of different improvements that we'll just go through. And before we do that, Dental System really has a super wide range of treatment workflows covering more or less any needs. These are packaged into different editions of the software, so you can choose the one that fits your need. Our most popular offering, definitely at the moment, is the complete restorative. So people are really leveraging all these different indications. So there's some good options there. All right, so just to look at some of the highlights. Here is like 5 of the top highlights for Dental System 2022. There's a lot more things, a lot more improvements that went into the software. So these are just the top ones. Number 1 is virtual preparation. We'll take a look at that in a moment, but basically allows you to create a virtual preparation, a much nicer workflow compared to before. Then we've made a web case 3D preview. Take a look at that. We now also have the ability to do dentures on implants or over dentures, as they're also called. Then we've added some different sculpt features. And then finally, we've added the models for articulators. All right, so let's go through this again. All right, so virtual preparation really allows you to create a preparation that fits a design of the crown. So the dentist can use this preparation or this guide, virtual preparation, to make the actual preparation on the patient. So there's a much better communication with the patient. It's a much nicer workflow and has different options to customize it. Another really cool feature, and also very much requested feature, is the ability to share a link to a case. So you can share it with a doctor or with another lab or another technician. So basically, the way it works is super simple. In Dental Manager, you basically select the case, and then you choose to create a link. This link is all you need to share it with another party. They don't need to log in. They don't need to install any kind of software. Just basically click on the link and it's going to open up in the browser and they can view the case and the design and so on. So a really versatile feature. So we're super excited to launch that. Then we've added implant supported dentures. So basically there's two things here. The one thing is now we've added the ability to create screw holes in the denture. So it's going to fit over the implants. We've also added the ability to align attachments so that you can preserve the space for locator abutments. So really nice addition here as well. Let's see if we can get this to move on. All right. So and then for those of you out there that want the maximum flexibility to really unleash your creativity in the design software, there's two new cool features here. Which basically the first one is the attachment tool. So now you can use any model as an attachment. It's super easy to load it. You don't have to configure anything like you did before. So a lot of flexibility there. The other thing is the ability to use an additional scan as a reference to add and remove material. So you can use it sort of as a guide to work from when you're sculpting. And then model builder improvements. There's been a pretty significant speed improvement in a complex case where you can save up to 3 minutes in processing time. So that's of course really nice to get that saving. The other cool thing we've done is added the ability to create models that will fit inside of a virtual articulator. So if you don't actually make a cast stone model, you want to print it instead from an intraoral scan. Now you can create a model that's going to fit precisely into the articulator. All right, so those were some of the highlights for dental system. Looking at some other things we have released a couple of months ago is an integration with Dentures by Sirona. This is also a very much requested feature. More and more labs are getting scans from different intraoral scanners, and it's becoming more of a hassle to manage all these different cases and different case portals. So what this will do is for Dentures by Sirona cases, you can now receive those cases directly into your dental manager inbox. So you can completely bypass the need to go and check the Sirona case center for any new cases. And we all know it's super annoying if you miss a case, for example, you'll have a frustrated doctor in the other end. So this is a very nice feature. Another thing we've done also on the integration side is we've added over the last 2 years a number of different integrations with lab management systems. The lab management system really sits at the heart of the lab, and it manages all the workflows. And what our integration enables is to basically have a much more efficient workflow. You can bring in cases from Trias and have those created into the lab management system automatically. It can also synchronize with the dental manager, so you have one uniform view of the cases. We today have an integration with Magic Touch, with LabTrack, and also with Genmar. And we're happy to announce that a few months ago we also announced integration with LabStar. So welcoming them to the family. All right, now over to Dentures. Back to Rune.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christian. Yes, Digital Dentures is the new adventure. There's no doubt that that is, from a lab perspective, the hottest category worldwide. We see significant growth, we see significant excitement, and there's no doubt that this is where the highest attention is. So let me actually just share how it has been growing in 2021. So here you actually see the numbers from our lab software. So you can see we are now doing more than 3 million removable cases in 2021. So I have to say pretty impressive and growing more than 100%. We see RPDs growing very significantly on 123%. We see the most overseen indication in CAD/CAM, customized trays, growing 72%. And then, of course, we see digital dentures, full dentures, also growing more than 100%. But also try to see how it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we were literally at zero, right? So in only 5 years, we have grown from 0 to 3 million cases. And you can see, all right, there's a small COVID bump, but you can see the growth is almost exponential. And I think it's very likely that it's going to double again this year. And removable is really the new frontier of CAD/CAM on lab side. And again, super exciting. So when we look into digital dentures, I think it's very important to see that the complete workflow is really key because it's far more complex to do. You have different clinical situations, whether you want to copy a denture, whether you want to scan different clinical situations. I really think that the complete workflows here are much more tricky and need full workflows to work from the scanning to the design, but of course also over in the milling, where, for instance, if you want to do some of the sophisticated milling results, for instance, like the erosion, then you really need that complete digital workflow. All right, so we'll also deep dive a little bit into the highlights of the dentures of 2022 here. We already saw Christian talking about dentures and implants. There's also a significantly improved copy try-and design from dentures, which is actually saving often a whole visit in the clinic. So really exciting. There's new tools in Smile Composer, especially the ability to remove any tooth in the setup has really been well received from our beta testers. There's new overviews windows in the bottom, and we also see wax templates now for the rugae and at least for the gingiva area. So that's really some positive feedback here. And again, I'm proud to say we started out very early on this, had a very early vision, and we are still far ahead of our friends from Exocad in this area here. So we, of course, continue to increase the gap here.
All right, so next up is Reshape Automate. I don't know if you heard the audio, but if not, then you missed some really nice upbeat music, which was part of this video. But anyway, what is Reshape Automate? Reshape Automate is a AI-powered design service for labs. There's basically no human beings involved. It all runs in the cloud, and it's 100% AI-powered. And this has a number of different advantages. For one, it gives you consistent results. You know, you can send the same case today and you can do it again tomorrow and you're gonna get the same results back. So really consistent. It's also super fast. You can get a design turned around in as short as 5 minutes. It's super scalable. You can upload hundreds of scans and it's all gonna be designed in the same turnaround, let's say 5 minutes if that's what you choose. And finally, it's super cost effective. You basically only pay for the design that you actually download and choose to use. So it's you can say it's free to get a design preview. And if you don't like the design, if you decide I want to design this case myself because I think I can do a better job, then you can do that and you don't pay for the design. We offer also 10% discount to LabCare subscribers. So if you're one of those, then make sure to take advantage of that. Reshape Automate has done already by now more than 550,000 designs. So it's really a massive uptake and a huge success. This is also at a 91% acceptance rate. So 91% of those designs end up getting accepted. So this is really testament to the maturity of the technology, and people are really pleased with the results. Automate is available for crowns, and then as a new thing, we also now have it available for night guards. If you're interested in this, please go to reshape.com/automate. you can get a free trial to give it a spin. So I definitely encourage you to do that. All right, so over to Splint Studio. I'll hand it back to Rune for that.
Yeah, so one of the really exciting things also moving very fast is actually splints. So what happened was that there was a disruption in the printed material, and that drew splints forward. And we are growing. Splint Studio is growing very significantly. We'll see on the next page. But here you can see what can you do with Splint Studio. You can do a wide range of splints, not just night guards, but very elaborated designs and also simple designs. It's available for all labs and also clinics, but it's all your labs, especially if complete or dental system premium, then you already have Splint Studio. So get started on it and try to see some impressive numbers here. If we look year over year here, we grew close to 600% with it, and it was really driven by the availability of new printing materials, particular Keystone Splint Soft disrupted this market, but of course you can also mill. But if you're not doing splints yet, it's a great treatment, and it's really been coming digital now, which why we also saw in 2021 into 2022 here a very significant growth. Another big trend is cosmetics dentistry. And of course, especially clear aligner will continue to drive digitalization. And a good portion of all intraoral scans today, also from 3 years, is clear aligners. So there's a huge opportunity also there. To offer that as a lab, you can grow your business with it. We have software for that. We have efficient also workflows. And a very efficient and powerful software base. So you can see here, we have scan and order on the TRIA side, and then design with Clear Aligner Studio. You can use treatment review, and you can basically easy manufacture it. You should never start with all the complex cases, but start with social 6, easy teeth moving. This is not hard as a lab to start doing that. I know you need, crown, restorative, implants also, but of course there's a little bit to learn, but labs can do that, and we see labs picking up on making clear aligners in-house significantly. So if we look across all the different trends, iOS will keep driving in digitalization. We really see 3D printing and materials on the next level. We talk about splints, but I promise you also 3D printed materials. I was launched 3 new materials this year. AI is not coming anymore. AI is here. We saw automate, but also on the clinic side, we have AI scanning. We have smile design also for labs with AI, and there's AI, real AI in almost all applications. Aligners and dentures are rapidly being adapted. And finally, there's no doubt that a platform race has begun. We saw recently Dentsply Sirona launching their own platform called DS Core. Still a very early attempt on building a platform. So thank you so much for joining. Let's change dentistry together. If there are any questions, then feel free. Yeah. I don't know if we have any questions.
We have one question here about which data is transferred from with the Sirona integration, and the answer to that is that we transfer the scan, but also the order details of the indications and so on is transferred from the Dentsply Sirona cloud into dental system.
It's fair to say, Christian, that we currently are not transferring the patient name, but we are working on fixing that.
Exactly. There's we are not transferring the patient name yet, but we hope to get that resolved. We got some feedback on that. So
I think it was a compliant issue originally, but now we hopefully resolving that. Yeah. But thanks for the question, Alex.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, thank you so much. Thanks for joining. We are super excited. We also think labs have a bright future, and where there are big changes like we see here with digitalization, raging, then there are also big opportunities for the right labs. Thank you so much, and take care, everybody.